to willy bounce. No, I'm trying to willy bounce, but it's not quite coming over. Yeah, guys, I'm trying to think, but it's just not working. So welcome to Now Chat Show. We hope you guys are having an amazing, glorious Sunday today. And it's the 2nd of August, so happy new month to everybody. So how's everyone doing? We hope everyone is well. And we are on the last episode of the Black Business series. So so the Black Business series, we've got some amazing guests for you. We've got a gentleman by the name of Travis. Now, he's a photographer. He's going to share his journey, how he got started in the photography world. And he also got various different projects as well that he runs. And they talk about various different topics within the youth culture that basically people ain't really talking about, but we're going to find out more and learn a bit more about him. So Travis, I can see that you're there. So Janelle, how are you getting on, girl?
I'm actually not too bad. Yeah. So yesterday was Emancipation Day and Black Pound Day for the 2nd or 3rd time now. It was Black Pound Day, right?
Yes, the 2nd time.
Yeah, and the reparations march in Brixton, so I was down there and the energy was just amazing. It was electric. It was so wonderful to see so many of us coming together in strength and unity and numbers and peace and just being there for one another, really, and just all the young people as well. There were so many young people, Kaz, and it just really warmed and touched my heart. So
Forever Family, big up yourself.
Big up Forever Family.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a powerful movement, and you know what they're doing is just phenomenal. And I think what's awesome about such a time like this is that we've got the elders, and then obviously we've got the young people who are, I really do believe they're the one that's going to just take that baton and run. Do you know what I mean? But we've got
they're flying,
mate.
They are, listen. Like, I saw the wings yesterday. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, they are flying. It was so beautiful to see, and there's so much more to come from people like Respect Rebellion, like you said, Forever Family. We want to big up Yonkel, because Yonkel's doing amazing things with Forever Family and just in general. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Who can we see? Kaz.
Okay.
Jimena, hey baby girl.
Hi, Jimena.
Tracy.
Thank you for joining us.
Serena.
And I can see there's quite a few people here with us. So we're going to dive right in because obviously the show is only for 1 hour. So we want to get everything out of these guests that we have this evening. Do ensure if you have any questions, please feel free to leave it throughout the comment box, or you can actually leave a question in the question box and we will ensure that we ask those questions for you. So Travis, if you are there, give us a thumbs up. And you've requested, so I'm gonna accept your request. So there he is. Right, so there we go.
Let's just pin what we're talking about here.
Good evening, young king. How are you?
Hey, Travis. How are you?
Loving your background.
Thank you. It's a backdrop that I made. I'm soon going to do a photo shoot with it soon. So yeah.
Did you say you've been shooting with the? Yeah.
Yeah, because basically in my house I have my own home studio. So yeah, my mum allowed me to have like this whole room, so it's under kind of refurbishment right now. So I kind of have all the walls, and since quarantine I've just been being creative, using different materials, like recycling them and just putting them on the wall and testing them out. So yeah.
Amazing. So we need to come down and basically have a photo shoot with you then.
100%,
right?
100%. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. Yeah.
Brilliant. So tell us about yourself. How did you get started in doing photography work? And what's also different and unique about your type of work?
So I kind of got into photography. It was kind of a random thing the way I got into photography. I've always been in front of the camera because people always used to take photos of me. So I said, you know what? I love taking photos of other people. My friends would like, take a photo of me, and I'm like, and the photos will come out good. I'll be like, whoa. So then it kind of went from there. And I think with Shot by Travis, everything about Shot by Travis is based on my personality. I'm crazy, I'm loud. I just like to be creative, and I like to just really get that out of people that I'm working with. And I think one of my biggest inspirations for me is music. That's how I kind of connect with my models. So it's music, it's kind of getting them to vibe to the song. And then from that, I will always kind of think of poses. And then that's how I kind of create my work. And and Shop by Travis kind of really took off when I started doing work with Salvation, and that's kind of a brand for my good friend Angelique, and that's how I kind of took off from there. And then from there, I was just working with her, improving, getting better, and that's kind of where Shop by Travis kind of really properly started. So yeah.
Fantastic. So if you don't mind us asking, how old are you, Travis?
I'm 21.
Oh, wow. I love it. I just, you know, I mean, we just love the fact that you young people are just out there. You're not even holding back. You're just exploring. You're just creating. You're setting up businesses, etc. I remember when I was 21, I wasn't thinking about business. I was thinking about math.
Babe, well, I don't even know what I was thinking about when I was 21, but it certainly wasn't business. It was probably raving, like my little part-time job, earning my money. I was actually studying at the time. I was in uni, but my life was, you know, there was no business or entrepreneurship was nowhere in my vision. So Cass is right. We love what you young people are doing. You young people are blazing a massive trail. Like I said yesterday when I was in Brixton at the Reparations March, at the Emancipation Day March, I saw young people with wings, Travis, like honestly, and you know, as elders, as we call ourselves.
I'm not an elder, I'm a young person.
All right. From a young'un and an elder to another younger, we just think it's amazing. Sorry, bit of an emergency.
Do apologise.
We had a little bit of a refreshment emergency going on there.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah. We thought we'd come ready with refreshments, and I'm
just drinking water.
Some ended up on the floor, but anyway. And no, we're not tipsy or anything. We're just high and happy on life, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's Thursday, and we have Travis there. So, you know, in terms of your photography, so you also mentioned about capturing, you know, like someone's story throughout the event. How is it? So through the stills, the photography, are you showing, like, demonstrating a story, or?
I think for me, everything that I do, for me, is obviously about telling a story. I think one thing I do with my photography, and I really love to think about kind of the backstory that the person I'm working with, what's the project trying to tell me, you know, because I think for me it's very important to understand what the outcome of the photos are going to be for me personally. Because when it comes to my work, I really like to think about it. Because for me, how I see it is, if I'm doing a photo shoot, I have to think about editing after. So when I'm doing lots of projects,
we're freezing a bit, Travis. We can hear you, but it just keeps on freezing. Like the
that's better.
Yeah. I have to turn on my Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi down here is crazy down here. Can you hear me now?
Wi-Fi down wherever Travis is. Fix up. Now is not the time.
I'm using my mobile data now because the Wi-Fi is moving mad down here. It's crazy. Can you hear me now?
It will be worth it, Travis. It will all be worth it.
Can you hear me now? Is it all right?
Yeah, you just keep freezing. That's the only thing. So we just...
I think he's back in the room in a little while. But do you know what? While he's coming back to us, I think what's really important to say about Travis is he's, like he said, he's not just a photographer. He's not... Oh, you're back.
Yes,
back,
amazing.
Okay.
You're back.
Yeah. One thing, a lot of people ask me, am I just a photographer? I don't really class myself as just a photographer. I class myself as an entertainer. That's how I see myself, because I don't like being placed in a box. I think sometimes when people call themselves photographers, they restrict themselves. I don't like to do that, because when people book me, they get the whole package. They get the jokes, they get the photography, they get the direction, they get lots of different things involved in that package. And I think I like to really put my personality into my work, because I think that's something that's really important to me. And when people work with me, they realize that I'm just fun. I like to just get people to feel comfortable. And I think that's where I think music comes in for me as well. And then, that's kind of it, really. Yeah.
But you know what's really important about what you're saying right there? Entrepreneurship is about the person and the character. So you've actually got to buy into the person to want to buy their product. And if there is a connection with that person, then it's more likely that you will buy into whatever they're selling. I mean, think about The Apprentice, for example, right, with Alan Sugar. The people who win are the ones with the most dynamic personalities, who are just about going out and getting it and really are able to attract people and attract the right energy. So that's what we're that's what I get from you. And just before you froze, I was just saying that you're not just a photographer. You know, there are many photographers out there. This is about Travis. This is about the story. And like Kaz said, you actually create a whole narrative for people's events. It's almost like a journey into a moment in their life through your photography, in terms of, like, you know, whether it's weddings or christenings or birthdays, whatever you're doing. And I love that. And that means that you're pouring yourself into that, so that you get the best out of people and that your work just shines, right?
Yeah, because even Jeremiah's just even put in a comment, he's an artist. Do you know what I mean? And I so agree with that, because that's your unique selling point. Do you know what I mean? People are buying into you as an individual. So, you know, we just want to say well done to you, because obviously you're so young as well. And, you know, to be so creative and to explore that, it's just amazing. So what challenges have you occurred, you know, getting into this industry?
I think for me, it's believing in myself. I think that's one of the biggest things I think I struggle with, and rushing my journey. I think for me, I want to be up there. I don't really want to, because obviously I'm good at what I do, but I feel like I feel like I just want to keep rushing my journey, and I keep forgetting that timing is everything, and I have to just work with what I have now and just keep pushing and keep working and keeping consistent. I think it's something that I've struggled with. And I think during the quarantine time, I've really started to sort myself out, sort out Shop by Travis, sort out my studio, sort out what I'm trying to do for next year. Because I think it's really hard for me. Obviously, being stuck in my house with my family is so hard, I think, for me personally, because they're so annoying sometimes. But I think it's just...
I mean, that's all families.
So I think it's just me just understanding that I have to respect the journey, and I just have to keep working hard and keep working at it, and stop comparing myself to other people, because I think that's one thing that we all tend to do. And I think just taking social media breaks now and then coming back stronger, and then just understanding to use your time wisely.
Something that I love what you said about having a time away from social media. Do you know what I mean? I think that's so essential, because we can become so consumed, always trying to be, you know, current, trying to always, you know, like posting all the time. But sometimes you just need to stop to be able to create, and to really just go back to what is the plan, what am I doing next? And when you keep on finding yourself on social media, it's easy for you to lose that focus. So, you know, I just want to really say well done for even recognizing that, because not a lot of people do that.
That's so true.
I just think sometimes my mental health can be all over the place, because I'm forcing myself to put content out, or I'm forcing myself to do this and doing that. And I've realized that I don't work like that. I think I need to just realize that social media is there. That's how I'll get with my clients, you know. But I think I also need to understand that I need to find other ways to build clients and find clients. And I think that's something I've tried to work out in quarantine. How can I do that myself? So I'm working on a lot of stuff for next year to come out, much more creative stuff, stepping outside my comfort zone, which is something that I'm really trying to do with Shop by Travis. So
Amazing.
Yeah, that's so important. I mean, we've got a few comments in there. Lady Jade says creative minds need reflective time. I think that's so true and so important. And you have to be free like water. You know, the molecular structure of water just flows. But when it's stagnant, it gets stale, and it kind of starts to go off. So you just got to keep allowing that energy just to flow, and, you know, not to, like you said, not to try and compare yourself to others. And it's very difficult with social media, you know, and we all do it. We all suffer from that in varying degrees. But when you actually break it down and you think about it, you were made uniquely you. Even if you're twins, triplets, whatever, you were still made uniquely you. So the whole idea of trying to compare yourself to something else that isn't you, when you actually think about it, it's ludicrous. It's not even logical, but we do it. We get into that habit. It's society that kind of forces us into that habit as well. So I love the fact that you're aware of that at such a young age. You've stepped out despite all of that. And you know what you said? You're like, I just want to be up here. I'm trying to rush my success, but I just need to take my time. So listen, you've got all the time in the world, Travis. Take your time and maintain your focus. That's what it's all about. You maintain your focus. Everything else just falls into place like rain. You know?
Yeah, definitely. But you work on other projects as well in terms of conversations, what's happening within the youth. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So I started the IME project in 2018. I can confirm that. But I started the IME project, and it was basically based around self-love. And the reason I really started Shabbat Tribes was because at the time I didn't love myself. You know, I didn't love the way I looked. I didn't love myself. And I think photography has really helped me in loving who I am as a person. And I started the Anime Project because I wanted to bring a lot of people together, not just creatives, but people in the industry, people that work in 9 to 5, people that do different things, and bring together to really uplift each other. And the first project was focused on pushing away from the norms that society places on us. You know, this idea of we have to look a certain way, act a certain way. And from that project, I did 3 photo shoots, and it was just bringing people together. And I did my first photo shoot in my house, actually. All the photo shoots I've done in my house, in my studio. And it was just bringing everyone together, makeup artists, different people, to just really network and just connect with each other. And yeah, that's what it is. And the Anime Project I'm working on a lot of stuff next year to do events and do a lot of things to really start talking on subjects, you know, about mental health, you know, not just for men, but for females as well, obviously young people growing up, and, obviously during the quarantine, a lot of topics have come up, on Twitter, and, about sexual assault and all of these things, educating people. And that's something I really want to do. I want to educate lots of Black young males, because I think there's not a lot of places, not just Black males, but a lot of young males, give them a place to really understand about the world and really educate them. But also I want to do something for females, because everything that I do, I work with a lot of females. I have a lot of female friends, and that is something I really want to do. Is I just want to do a lot more projects for females, and just uplift people. That's what I'm trying to do, and keep positive, because we're in a negative world, and we just have to spread a lot of positivity around, and that's what the IME project is really about.
Love that. We could see that you work with Miss Shaney. Miss Shaney, got big up my girl there. She's a makeup artist, and I would have loved to have had her on the show. She's done my makeup. I've done some work for, being a model for her, and even our story of how we met and everything else. And I just love the fact that you guys all support each other. You've all got your own field, your own areas, but you all come together collectively, and to be able to have conversations, do you know what I mean, about things that's having an impact and affecting each and every one of all of us. To be quite honest, it's not just young people, it's even the more mature people, but we need to have these conversations. So well done in starting up that project.
And I think it's great, like, again, it's not just photography, but it's art and it's expression and it's exploring topics for young people. There's so much wrapped up in what you are about and what you do, and I think that's beautiful. And you're doing it from your home. You're so young, but being so young, there must have been some challenges. You spoke about your mental health, and you spoke about the comparison to others and all of that, but just in terms of practical challenges, what have you faced as a young person stepping out and trying to do your thing with your brand, Shop by Travis?
I think for me it's experience. Sometimes I feel like I will apply for a role, or I will go for something, and I feel like they will feel like I'm not experienced enough, or sometimes I don't feel I'm experienced enough. I think because I'm so young, I feel like there's certain things that I should apply for, certain things I shouldn't apply for. So I think, again, just for me, it's really been down to confidence a lot of the times. I think also money comes into it as well. I think because sometimes when it comes to like equipment, I don't always have the best equipment, but again, recently I've been trying to rebuild up everything again. So I think one of the biggest things was the equipment that I had and all the kind of resources around me that I had. So yeah.
And that must be tough, because things are constantly changing, right, in the world of photography and the arts and kind of the technical equipment that you use, and it's not cheap. But I think, do you know what's beautiful about when you don't have the best equipment? If you can master your craft with not the best tools, once you get the top range of the tools, you're gone clear, mate. Like you're soaring. So if you can master it just with the tools that you have around you, that's true entrepreneurship. And it will gradually build and it will gradually grow. And hopefully, kind of being on this show as well, there'll be more people that are interested in what you do. And if they need a photographer, or they're interested in a project to work with someone like yourself, a young artist, then maybe they will get in touch. But what I would also encourage you to do, Travis, is not to be afraid to ask. Like, I'm sure you have, but don't be afraid to ask. Put it out there, even to ask people for donations, because there's so many people out there who see a young person like yourself, and we're like, wow, I love what he's doing. And if I can help in some small way, I will. So don't be afraid to put that out there on your platforms, you know, whether it's a PayPal or a GoFundMe. I've seen lots of young people doing that. And I think, again, it's so entrepreneurial. And it is really you saying, despite what all the obstacles are, I'm just going to go for it. And, you know, I'm going to, like you said, some things you think you're not qualified for, and you maybe, you know, question whether you should apply. Yeah. My advice would be, if it looks right, just apply.
Yeah.
Straight. You know, even if you don't get whatever it is you've gone for, that just wasn't your time, but the experience of applying will be so valuable that come the next time around, that whatever it is for you, and it will be in that bag for you. So that's the word of encouragement that I would give you.
Thank you so much. I just want to say one more thing. I want to say a big shout out to Niche. She's my good friend. She has her own brand as well called Shop Jolly. And big up Shanae as well. Shanae's been my sister for life. Me and Shanae, we're working on a lot of stuff that's coming out next year. We're going to be doing a lot of photo shoots next year. So I can't wait for you guys to see that as well. So yeah.
Wonderful. So when are we going to get in front of your lens then?
Whenever you're next year, I'm trying to do a lot more bigger projects. So next year, from about February, I'll drop you guys an email and then we can make it happen.
Please.
Yeah. Listen, I love the camera. Do you know what I'll tell you? I am like, mate, I was born for the camera.
She was actually. She really was. Really, the camera loves her, and she's just got loving the camera and loves her.
Like,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the camera makes love all the time.
All the time. It's mad passionate. But listen, Travis, we are going to let you go shortly. But what I want to know from you, as a young king stepping out there and just making it happen, literally, what advice would you give to other young people who are maybe toying with an idea of you know, starting up their own business and are not quite sure, or maybe have had some of the concerns that you have? I'm not good enough, I'm too young, I'm not experienced. What would your advice be to those people?
Honestly, just do it. I think I feel like we're in a time where there's so many ways you can start a business, you know, and I think you can start a business with £20. I think it's just believing in yourself. Write a business plan, write down all your ideas that you're thinking about, and then just branch from there. I think, because I feel like also don't go with your first idea. That's one thing I think a mistake I made. Don't go with your first idea. Write them all down. Think about it. Write how you're going to approach these things first before you do it. Don't jump straight in. Cool, it's nice to do that, but you have to think logically as well when you're having a business as well about many things. So just think about it, but do it as well, and also use the connections you have around you as well. If you have a friend that's a graphic designer, you have a friend that's a photographer, work together. Collaborations is your biggest key. I think the next generation, we have to understand that collaboration is going to help us. It's going to push us further than any other generation, because the amount of creative people in this generation that we have, wow, blows my mind. So I think it's just that, and believing in what you can do, and you can do anything in this world as long as you're determined to do it.
I love that.
Mate, it's only 21.
I know, such powerful words, such really powerful words. Thank you for that. Collaboration, you know, is greater than competition. That's so true, Daniel. It's and the fact that you understand that from such an early age is critical, because man is not an island, and we all need each other. And, you know, again, it's just about stepping out there and asking, and you never know what might come from that. So Travis, big up yourself, my friend. So where can people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, Shot by Travis. The O is a 0. Same thing with Facebook. And if you just want to follow me and just check out my Instagram, it's TravLDN as well.
Okay, so I'm writing that in at the moment. So Shot with a 0 by Travis, yeah.
And TravLDN for my personal.
Oh my gosh, I didn't get that one. Say that again.
I think
TravLDN.
Is this your personal Insta?
That's my personal Instagram. But if you want my photography one,
yeah. TravLDN.
Yeah.
Like that. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow that one too, because I'm you know.
I'm gonna start YouTube as well, so that'll be
Shot by Travis to the moon, to the stars, you know.
Energy. That's
Okay.
Well, thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Best of luck. We'll be watching you very closely, and you have our support.
I'm going to send you guys an email very soon as well, so watch out for that as well.
Thank you so much, Travis. Thank you for your time, and thank you for blessing us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Wow, he was so inspiring.
He was, wasn't he?
He's only 21.
I know, man.
That's our son, babe. Well, my son.
Talk to yourself.
No, you know.
She's baiting up the thing right about now. Mate, no, sir. No, but on a real though, it's beautiful to see young people like that. And there's so many of them out there. So, you know, we're here to inspire you guys. You know, it's a platform to inspire and to just blow all of this negative narrative out the water about our young people this and our young people that. You know, not to digress too much, but seeing what Forever Family did yesterday with Respect Rebellion and those young people coming out and just in black unity, some of the headlines today, and I don't want to give it too much airtime because it doesn't deserve it, but if you saw some of the headlines today, utter fake news about terrifying mob and this and that and bulletproof vests and all sorts of rubbish, yeah? So I just want to put it out there to say I was there, live and direct. There was no trouble. The energy was just immense. So, you know, we have so many young people doing such amazing things. Travis is one of them. Forever Family UK is another. And we're not going to tolerate any more of this slanderous narrative that, you know, wants to be perpetuated in the media. We're creating, or not even creating, we're telling the real narrative.
Yes.
So, you know, thank you guys for your support.
Thank you. Thank you. So, guys, obviously, you know, we've got you. So we've got another phenomenal guest who's going to be joining us in a moment. Her name is Esther Austin, and she's a transformational leader, and she's her passion remits into like empowering and inspiring individuals. She's also got a magazine called Turning Point. She's going to share a bit more about the magazine itself and how you can also purchase your copy, and how why she started off the you know, creating the magazine itself, because obviously we're in a Black business series, so we're learning more about these entrepreneurs, these individuals, to, you know, really to inspire us to step out, you know, because we're living in a time that is very uncertain, you know, as we always thought, you know, obviously growing up, that you're going to have jobs for life. That does no longer exist. So it's meaning now to tap into your real, true gift. And I really believe that we're living in a time that we're given an opportunity to really to find out what's really inside of us and to really explore it and create, and also, you know, make money from it as well. So without further ado, we're going to bring on Esther.
Bring Esther on.
Yes, bringing this beautiful queen on.
Esther, we're adding you right now. I'm very excited for this as well because she's done so much.
She's done a lot. Yeah.
Can you tell us all about it?
Yes.
Hello.
Hey,
Queen.
Esther, how are you?
I'm good. Can you see me okay? It's a bit
Not
dark.
really, to be honest.
Angle. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can angle this way. That's a little better. Is that a little better?
That's better. That is better. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got an iPad here, so we're kind of watching how it looks from there as well.
Okay, brilliant. I've got this tripod thing that it's standing on, and then, you know, I've been sort of angling myself all over. There we go.
You're actually glowing. From what I can see in the iPad, you are glowing, Esther. So thank you for bringing the glow to our chat show.
We need your glow.
Oh, it's the hormones as well, trust me.
Girl.
We won't go there. Another show.
We'll talk about that on another show. And you're going to be on that show with us as we talk about anyway. We're not going to say it.
Oh, dear.
Because it's all part of life.
It's a part of life.
You know, we just embrace it all, don't we?
But this is a Black business series. So, and you're on the spotlight.
So, Esther, thank you so much for joining us. Look, we're just going to get straight into it. Tell us what you do. A bit about yourself and what you do, and of course about Turning Point magazine.
Okay, well, thank you, ladies, for having me on your show. Thank you very much. I know we've tried this several times, and it's a real honor. I guess I call myself a transformational leader. That is the sum of who I am, and within that, I would say there's been a couple of things that's been birthed in me that allows me to translate that energy of transforming and healing your lives. So one of those things is a magazine called Turning Point, Your Lifestyle, Your Wellbeing. And it was my baby, I call it my baby because I love it so much. My baby was birthed 3 years ago this August actually, and I was in Barbados at the time, and
yeah, I love the way you put your accent. Yeah, girl.
Any of you is Bajan? One of Bajans?
No, not Bajan, but we love that.
I love that. I've been to Barbados. I haven't. I've been for weekends. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But before that, I've always sort of interviewed people intermittently, and as I was meditating, I was given, you need to enable the reach, a greater reach, your work to get a greater reach of people. But also, I was having the most amazing interviews with some incredible people, and so it was, what can I do to help disseminate that information on a wider level? And I was told, do a magazine. And I'm like, wow, at the time I didn't have the funds for something like that, because you tend to think it's this huge thing. But then I just stepped out in faith. And I remember I had interviewed Freddie McGregor, I think the week previous for something else. And I thought, I wonder if I asked him if he can be on the front cover. And he said yes. And then I just cobbled together lots of different interviews, there's a couple of friends who own their own businesses. So I said, just put an advert in there, just make it look like you paid for an advert. And I discovered Fiverr.com, Fiverr.
Fiverr.com. That's my bridging. Fiverr, I love Fiverr. Like Fiverr, anyway. Sorry.
I've heard loads of people.
Fiverr is amazing.
Can I just ask, actually, when you interviewed Freddie, was that at Boysdale by any chance?
No, because I had put him at Boysdale before, but this was overseas. I managed to get him overseas, and I can be quite persistent. So I managed to get hold of him, and he said yes, and from there, then it just started taking on a life of its own. And then for the winter, it's quarterly. So for the winter issue, I thought, who can I get? And I got Sister Sledge for the front cover, and then it began to snowball. And for me, these people that I get to interview, yes, they're huge artists and legends, but for me, they're pioneers. And that's more than just in their celebrities. They are pioneers. They're people, they are elders. It's like sitting at the feet of your elder. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh my gosh. I'm just like a child when I'm around them, because they've been through so much. And yet, sometimes when you're going through your stuff and these people are up on stage and they've just lost someone, or they've had to deal with this, and yet they're still up on stage performing. How? And so what I realized with a lot of these legends and pioneers is that their attributes, their value systems are what keeps them going. That platform that, no matter what happens, the show must go on. And so, this is its third year, it's quarterly, and my baby's growing. My baby's got legs now, my baby's walking.
Your baby's talking, right? Talking. I've heard we just heard so much about it, I mean, one of our very close friends, and also a guest of ours previously on the show, and somebody I used to actually do a show with as well, co-host Kwame. You covered his story, and that his battle with mental health, and the book that he wrote. And he's a massive fan and an advocate of you. But I think what's really important about what you've said is telling our own stories, capturing our own stories. A lot of the time, these pioneers live a great life here, they leave a massive legacy, but their stories aren't really captured by us. And we need to capture those stories and preserve them for posterity, so that in years to come, the youngest can look back and say, wow, like Freddie, they can see all of these role models, not just in the here and now, but those who have gone before them, who have paved the way. And I think, what you said was truly important. It's not about how big this person is, but it's about their legacy. It's about how much of a pioneer they are. And I'm sure you just said, you know what? I'm just going to ask these people.
And I think that's the courage. That's the beautiful thing, because even when you stated, you didn't have the finances, you looked at it and you're thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to create this magazine? Because instantly, anything that we're going to step out and do, we always think, I'm going to have no money. That's always the thing. And that always stops us from doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? I'm sure you've had those conversations yourself. I mean, you've gone through it anyway, but we can definitely resonate with that. And we've stepped out beyond that anyway. But the first thing we always think is, oh my God, I haven't got the money.
I think it's because sometimes you just see things, and everything has a value in terms of this monetary thing. Everything's around money, and when you go past that, then you get into the realm of creativity. You get to the realm of flow. You get into the realm of consciousness. You get into the realm of belief and knowing. You know, whatever you believe in, whether it's your religion, your faith, but it's that knowing that actually I can create this. Just like the young man before you, what he said, he talked about not having a certain type of equipment, but he's still going to step out. And the thing is, when you step out, the universe or God, you know, we all have different beliefs, but it takes over. I mean, you should have seen me when I went to the States last year. Trust me, I've been in some places and people are like, your magic could have been dead. You could have been, but I stepped out in faith because it's almost like, I've got a mission. This is what I need to do. So I know that if I'm going down that avenue, it may be dark, but I'm protected. And that's stepping out. That is stepping out in pure faith. And even lots of times, like last year when I went to the States, I didn't have much money. But then I needed to, no, it was this year, I needed to get from LA to Detroit to attend a really special performance. And I was speaking to someone, he goes, look, I know the work you're doing. I'm going to gift you that. Because also what people don't realize, sometimes there's exchanges. Sometimes there's someone that can do something. You can offset. You can offset. And so I got a flight from LA to Detroit. And then I was privileged to stay in a place that someone knew, Martha Reeves. And then I was privileged, you know, I didn't have time to shop. He goes, my fridge is full, help yourself. And then I was privileged. So the thing is, when you walk out in that belief, the doors open. Because sometimes I'm thinking, how am I going to eat? How am I going to eat? But the doors open. And I'm quite fearless as well. I'm a Dr. Martin girl, and people call me a Rottweiler pit bull, because it's almost like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about, I'll be back. I'm down on my knees. You go down on your nose, and I'm like, I'm still getting up.
Good for you. Oh man.
Yeah, it shows that determination, that drive, that faith, that unwavering. Well, I wouldn't even say unwavering, because I think as much as determined as most human beings are, there is the waver that comes in, the wavering. But you, as long as you know that that's false, it's false. Yes. You can just cast it aside. You know, I think we put a quote out by Kaya Tally Lotus, who has her own sound system, and I paraphrase, but she said that you know, it's not lack of vision. It's basically, it's lack of, because you still have the ability. It's lack of courage that robs you of your vision.
Yeah. And that's what happens to so many of us. You know, you lose that sense of direction. You lose that, you know, the end goal, what you're aiming toward, because obviously you may be going through the storm, etc. And those things are there to help you to get you stronger for where you're about to go. Do you know what I'm saying? Because without you going through certain things, there is no real story. There isn't anything that people will be able to resonate with, because I know that you have got really a deep story in regards to what you've been through. And yeah, I mean, you've been through a lot, and you're still on the other end, and you're blessing people, and you're inspiring people, and you're uplifting people. So girl, we salute you. Yeah. But Turning Point, in terms of the name of the magazine, why Turning Point as the name of your magazine?
It's what came to me. And the whole essence and theme and ethos around it is very much that if you are at the turning point of your life, because sometimes society gives you the message that if you're at the turning point, then you can become stagnant, you're too young, you're too old, you're too this, you're too that. It's a turning point, it's a rebirth. It's about, you could look at things from when you, just like what's happening now, okay, with this whole pandemic, whatever we want to call it. It's about, okay, politically correct, but you know, whatever it is, and we know a lot of people have been challenged, a lot of people have been turned upside down, but that's a turning point. And so however you want to take this time, I'm not saying it's easy for a lot of people, because a lot of people are still in a certain matrix mindset, so they will find it harder than others, you know. But the thing is, if we can see it as a turnaround, a wiping the slate clean, a picking themselves up, whatever it is, it's your turning point. It's all of our turning points. And we can see that out there on the streets, on different levels, different dimensions. There's the young man was talking about the creativity, this whole spirit of creativity and coming together. And I've been saying for a long time, I can get blown away from this. I've been saying, especially with our community, I've been saying sometimes it takes for us to really be down on our face to realize actually we can come together. I mean, look at the Black-owned economy group on Facebook. Within a very short space of time, look how many thousands. And so sometimes it does take for something like this to bring that together.
So especially when people have a platform to do that. I mean, big up, you know, we said it already, but big up Swiss and the whole Black Pound Day movement, because like you said, that has absolutely taken off, and it puts a next layer of consciousness in your mind, so that when you do go out and spend, you're like, can I spend? The first question that always comes to mind should be, can I spend this in a Black-owned business? Sometimes, I'm not going to say it's always possible, you know, sometimes what you need there and then might not be possible. But for the most part, if that's the question you always ask yourself, then you will just naturally get into that mindset. And, you know, you might actually, it could even actually bring some moments of inspiration, because you might want to get something, it's not available, but from a Black-owned business, but you say, you know what, there's an opportunity there.
Let me create this.
I can create that. And I'm sure there's been many people who have done that. I mean, just for an example is this whole mask thing. You know, aside from what the views are on the mask, people have taken that and run with it. Like, you know, really instill their creativity into it and really run with it. So you're right. And I love the fact that you said about turning point is that it's this pivotal moment, whether it be in your life, whether it be in society, but, you know, almost that moment of stepping out and doing things different, but also, you know, just kind of very, very, just being bold and brave, and I think we've realised that exactly, just really going for it. But what did you? I'm interested to know, what did you do before Turning Point? What? Give us a little bit of your story before Turning Point.
Before Turning Point, okay, I used to work in the Department of Health, probably about, well, long time now, maybe about 15 years ago. And I've never been in a job for more than sort of 2 or 3 years, because my soul always, I got bored quickly. And even in my job, sometimes I'd be writing poetry. I used to write these little blogs when I got into work about being bored, whatever. And at the time when I was at the Department of Health, people just say, why are you here? I said, don't worry, my time is coming. And these little books, these little inspirational things, whether it's inspirational comedy, people would say, you know, do you have a book? And so I thought, no, I don't have a book. So then I created books around, I put all my stuff into a book. And then I also remember one time I was working for one of the directors. I was bored witless, and my stuff had started to grow and build. And I also remember my spirit said to me one day, they're going to sack your tail, because, you know, sometimes you're doing the things, but you're doing your own work in the sideline.
Listen, I've been queen of that. I'm the queen.
And I knew I was going to get caught. I was going to get caught, and they would have sacked me on the spot, and they probably would have to call police for me, right? And I'm like, you know what? And everybody was saying at the time, oh, but you need to have money behind you before you jump. And at the time also, I was in a single flat with 2 boys. I had been through divorce and stuff. I thought, I got nothing to use, because there's no way I'm going to have that amount of money for me to jump without. And I jumped. And when I stood outside the doors of Whitehall, you know that song that says Free Nelson Mandela? I was like, Free Esther, because there was a freedom. But even there was a freedom on one level, but then on another level, it was just hard grafting. And I had 2 boys to manage, divorce. It was freedom. It was that freedom, that walk towards freedom. No matter how many steps I took or how many valleys I had to dig down into, there was that vision that, you know, this is where I'm going. And even after my divorce, you know, I ended up in a 1-bedroom place. And I remember when I put the key in the door, it was almost like you either sink or swim. And I thought, I've got my freedom from this relationship, from this situation. And I thought, I'm not sinking. And it was a 1-bedroom flat with my 2 boys, but I did whatever I had to do. I did what I ever had to do. And so in the, you know, so coming up to where the magazine is now, I had, there's lots of other things in between, but basically I used to do like radio shows, just interview people. And so that was the culmination to bringing the magazine together when Source said, or Spirit said, God said, Universe said, put it together, bring it all together into this, onto this platform. And the magazine's the platform for one of many, many things that are being birthed from that.
Can you talk about some of maybe the upcoming things that have spurned from Turning Point magazine that you're thinking about? Are you able to share any of that?
Yes, yes. Some of that, what's branching out of that will be master classes, because for me, it's not just a magazine, it's an experience. It's an experience. So somebody can read about all the great interviews and all the things that people have been through themselves. But if they themselves are at a turning point, then what support will they need? It's got to be an experience, not a standalone. So that's one thing. And then the other thing would be fashion, because I've got a fashion range that I sort of brought out 2 years ago, but I want to bring that back, because for me, the fashion is about expression, it's about release, it's about freedom, it's about individuality, it's about uniqueness. And that's what the magazine is. If you're at this turning point, because you should see me, I plait my hair up, right? Last Sunday, my granddaughter said, "Nana, do your hair like a rainbow?" I look like a walrus by the time I didn't finish, so I had to go plait it up on Monday. But it's very much about everything that's going to come out of Turning Point, and some of it's going to be broadcasting as well. So there's this whole hub of wonderful things that surrounds the theme of Turning Point, so it becomes an experience.
And amazing. Become an experience. So it's a full brand that offers, it's a rich, multi-layered brand that offers so much. Because the reason I asked that question is because I just broadcast, in fact, podcast was what came into my mind. You mentioned radio and it just popped into my mind. So I was like, let me see if, and like you say, everything comes from source, universe, God, whatever we want to call it. So I said, let me just see if, if that's part of the plan. So you mentioned broadcast as well. So I'm glad to see that's in the plan, because there are so many stories to tell.
And the thing is, with the stories, it also helps you as well on your journey, and that's what I love what you're saying in terms of the turning point, because we all go through a turning point in life. That's just a part of life, but what you do with that turning point is going to have either a positive or a negative impact. But what I love about your magazine is that you're sharing people's journeys. You've got the pioneers, like you talk about, Freddie McGregor, Sister Sledge, etc. But you're airing their story. You're no longer just looking at them as the artist performing, but you're looking at the hustle and what they've had to go through, the people that they've lost, and still having to get up, turn up, put on their big girl panty even though they don't want to do it. You understand what I'm saying? So these are things that we need to share, because we can all identify with that, because we're all human beings, we're all part of the human race, so we need to share these stories. So well done on you. But how can people actually purchase your magazine? So is it
you can go, it's digital, but also it's print on demand. They can go to, should I do it in the comment box?
You can tell us, and I'll try and type while you're talking.
Okay, HTTPS.
Yeah.
I think is it colon?
Forward slash.
Then www.
.com
/
Yep.
Esther Austin Global.
Esther Austin Global. Okay, and you're also on Instagram, either via Esther Austin Global or Turning Point Magazine. Would it be best if people were interested to go via Turning Point Magazine?
Yes, yeah. And my website is currently going under reconstruction at the moment, but when that's up, it would be turningpointmag.com, because that's going to be like the central point. I was just hoping to have had it done by this, but that would be the central point where people can come to just click on links rather than going all over the place.
And can people actually take out a subscription as well?
They can, yes, yeah, they can. So they can take out an individual subscription, or I think it's four subscription. A
Yeah,
yearly.
Brilliant.
yearly subscription. Okay, that's great, because you know, I mean, if you can subscribe, again, you're a wonderful Black business that's offering so much, and if you can subscribe, that's a good way to spend your Black pound. That magazine comes through your door, and just read all about these pioneers and people that you've kind of focused the spotlight on. So listen, we're going to have to let you go very shortly, but before
just
we
very quickly, sorry,
go on.
Very quickly, but it's not just about the artists, because it gives a platform to other people. There's lots of other incredible people in there. So those, because I need to say that. So it's not just the artists, but it's also some other incredible people that I capture from around the world. I capture all their voices. So that's
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Maybe at some point in time, if you need a photographer in the future, maybe you could collaborate with Shot by Travis and do a little project with him for the young people out there. We're all about creating that synergy,
Definitely.
But as I say, we're going to have to let you go very shortly. But before we do, I just want you to give those watching out there 3 tips from a woman who is, blazing a trail, who understands what it is to go through challenges, and despite those challenges, has gone through the other side. So for anybody else who wanted to step out or wanted to create, and then they're struggling, just 3 key tips that you would give those people.
I would say just put 1 foot forward and keep moving. Look after and nurture yourself in between that, because I exercise a lot. Find an outlet. And the third one is just keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's it. 1 foot in front of the other.
I love that.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, you spoke about that last week.
I actually say it all the time. I'm like, how do you reach the top of the mountain? Just 1 foot in front of the other. That's it. We look up and we're like, oh my gosh, it's so high. How am I going to get up there? You waste all of that time chatting all of that kind of negative speaking to you when you could have taken about 10 steps already. So just one foot in front of the other. Eventually you'll get to the peak and you'll look down and you'll think, wow, me did that. Do you know what I mean?
Especially my 5'3", yeah. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Esther. Just before you go, I just want to let you know some of the comments. Great interview, positive energy. That's from Samira. Powerful show. Somebody else, Carla, said, is well done, sis. Lady J has said, keep pushing forward 1 step at a time. And Jacqueline has said, thank you for those tips. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bless you, ladies. Thank you.
Bless you. Take care. Lots of love.
Oh, wow. This has just been awesome. I just feel so encouraged. I mean, obviously, girl, 1 step at a time. 1 step at a time. And when the wavering starts to happen, when the negativity starts to try and infiltrate, because that's false narrative, false news, false narrative. It's a load of rubbish, but it will keep coming to try and attack us. When it does, remember it's safe. Remember that you're protected by your faith, right? You are protected by your faith, and you're bound for great things. And because of that, all of those kind of obstacles are going to try and get in your way. Think about an athlete, for example. They see the finish line, but there's still obstacles in their way. They got all of the other people that they're against, but they've just got to focus on them, bring it back to them and their own zone, right? Definitely. I mean, obviously, I've had that experience this week, do you know what I mean? And keepingitreal.com. So somebody's requesting
Kwame, do you actually want to come on? We've just seen your request, so we don't know whether it was a mistake. We've literally got a couple of minutes where we could add you. So if you really do want to come on, give us a thumbs up. Thank you. You said very well done. Give us a thumbs up if you really do want to come on, or if it was a mistake, let us know.
But as I was saying, I've had a testing week, and I'm not going to feel shame about it, and like Janelle says, it's just false narrative. And I'm just an illustration of that. We all go through this all the time. But one of the things I will say, especially in a time like this, do not suffer in silence. Talk to people. If you cannot find somebody that is you feel safe with, contact the Samaritans. Trust me, they're there for you to talk. So I mean, we've only got a few minutes.
We got a few minutes.
Yeah,
I don't know. Kwame said, okay. All right, Kwame, we're going to accept your request. Tracy said, okay. So let's accept Kwame. And you can say hi. Thank you for putting us in touch with Esther.
I'm sure I met Esther before, you know. I'm so that voice now.
Look, funny enough. Hello. It's the big. Where's the big?
Black
Where's the big?
long beard.
Okay. All right. We'll allow you.
Oh, God.
How you been?
I'm great, man. I'm just here writing, actually. You know me, I'm always writing. So, doing a story.
You're looking well. You're looking very well.
Thank you. Yeah, funny enough, yeah, well, as a young lady tell me, say, I look good enough. So I said, you know what, I'm going to keep it.
She was right. She was right.
I tell you. I said, yeah, the look kind of suit me, you know. So.
And we know that you're working on having a book launch at some point. You're going to launch your book. It's going to be something that's online. So guys, for those of you watching, we have had Kwame on the show before. In fact, Kwame's my old co-host, as I said, from a previous show that I did, but we've had Kwame on the show before. He's got a book called Date with Depression, and he is a mental health advocate for men, fantastic speaker, writer, entrepreneur. He helps other people write their books. So we just want to say, watch this space. Follow him, Max Key. Watch this space for his book launch.
And if you haven't seen that, so please go to our IGTV. You'll see all of the episodes in regards to mental health week there as well. So he will bless you, and you can get even further information to how you can actually purchase that book as well online.
That's right. It's all about spending our black economy and spending our money where it deserves to be spent.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. And the funny thing is, Esther talked about it because in terms of stories, because you know that's what I do. Stories, telling stories and telling our stories helps the narrative in terms of empowering us as a people, right? So yeah, it's a great time for us. A really wonderful time.
It is a great time for us.
Yeah,
It really is. And there's so many of our stories to tell. But you know we're going to be fully on board supporting your launch. We literally have got a couple of minutes left. So thank you for blessing us with your presence. Looking so well. Again, loving the beard.
Yeah, look good.
We're loving it. We're loving it like that.
Kwame, listen, we love you. Thank you so much for coming on. And see you again soon.
Definitely. All right, cool.
Kwame, lots of love.
Bye.
Cool.
That was nice.
Oh, that was nice that he came and blessed us with his presence.
Yeah.
Hey, Anthony.
Esther said, thank you, Kwame Greybeard. So listen, girl, that was our last series of Black Business episode in the Spotlight. Don't worry, we are going to be showcasing Black businesses on our platform. There are people who are sending us short videos, and we're going to feature as many as we can. So we're not going to be doing a show necessarily focusing on Black businesses, but we do intend to keep the spotlight on strengthening our businesses and our economy. So if there's anyone watching out there who knows somebody who's got a business that deserves to be recognized, get them to send us a short clip, 60 seconds. You can find the information out on our platform. You can either DM us or info@nowchatshow.co.uk.
Yep.
Almost forgot that, right?
You got it, girl. You got it. You got it, mate. It's brains, you know.
Mate.
Listen,
mate.
Oh.
Sometimes. But yeah, so next week, Kaz and I will be catching up and we'll be wrapping up the series, won't we?
Yes.
We got some exciting news to share as well, so make sure you come back and join us.
Yes, some very exciting news.
Yeah. So we'll be divulging all of that next week, and we'll be talking about our next series, which, should we check what it is? All right, this is our next series. No, it's our series. It's our series, but it's something that I'm like, we should really do. So the next series is going to be about dating, love and dating, and we're going to probably have about 4 episodes in that, but we'll tell you more about that next week. Hey, Ebs, thank you.
So we are, well, this is the final hour now, so we're not in the final hour, we're in the final minutes now. So we just want to say thank you so much for joining us this evening. You could have been anywhere, but you was here live with us, and we just want to say thank you so much. Until next time, it's your girls from Now Chat Show. So we're leaving the building, and we should see you next week.
Peace
Bye
out.
for now.